Welcome to Trading Tornado, where our motto is search, find, trade. In this tutorial, we're going to cover how to use the individual option screeners. So if you look at the menu on the left, there are four categories: high volume, abnormal volume, put call ratio, and call put ratio. Let's start with the high volume screener. The high volume screener is going to show you stocks whose options traded at a minimum volume on a given day. So let's just look at an example. Let's say that we want to find stocks whose options traded at least 10,000 contracts in one day. So in the text box here, we enter a minimum volume of 10,000. For the trade date, we can select a date from this list. Let's choose 8/8. And then from the expiration date, we can choose the date for these options that traded. And for the trade date, it's going to give us all the available expiration dates. So let's go ahead and click options and see what kind of results we get. So here we can see that on 8/8/2011, Apple traded 169,376,000 call option contracts. Bank of America traded 125,904 contracts. So this is how you're going to look for stocks that traded a certain amount of volume. The second screener that we have available is the abnormal volume. This is structured very similar to the high volume screener. And what we're going to do is very similar. We're going to go ahead, we can choose an expiration date. Let's choose 7/15 this time. You can see that the trade date drop-down list has updated with a new set of dates. So let's choose 6/24. There's also a text box to enter the minimum volume. So let's go ahead and enter something different. Let's enter 20,000 contracts this time. And then in the last box, this is how we're going to find abnormal volume. Let's say that we want to find stocks whose options traded more than twice their normal options volume. We would go ahead and enter a value of 2. Let's go ahead and click Get Options. And you can see the list that results. On 6/24, the July contracts, options contracts for Oracle, the calls traded 52,197 contracts. That compares to an average volume of 16,696. So you can see that this is at least twice the average volume. So this is going to try to help you find stocks where there were bets to the upside for calls and bets to the downside for the puts, like eBay and Oracle as well, that are above the normal amount of betting. And that could be significant because it could signal the emergence of a trend, either positively or negatively. The third screener we have available is the put-call ratio, and that's going to be very similar to the call-put ratio. It's structured similarly to the first two screeners. You go ahead and select a trade date. You see that the only available expiration date in this case was 7/15 for that 7/7 trade date. If we click on the reset dates, we can start this all over again. Maybe I want to go back into June. Look at the June contracts, and it's going to give us the available trade dates. So then what we do is we enter a minimum put volume because we're looking for the put-call ratio. That means we're looking for stocks where there was negative betting, people looking for downside in the stock price. So we enter a minimum put volume of, say, 10,000 contracts, and we want the put-call ratio to be at least 5, meaning 5 times as many puts traded as the calls. We click Get Options, and you can see here's the two stocks that satisfy those criteria. So maybe you would investigate these stocks further to see if there were reasons to make a downward bet and to buy puts or do a put spread. The call-put ratio is basically the same screener, except you're looking for upside opportunities. You can enter an expiration date, go ahead and pick a trade date, enter the minimum call volume in this case because you're looking again for upside opportunities. Let's enter something different, 30,000. And we want to find one where the call put ratio was at least 10 to 1, some very aggressive upside betting. And see, we only have one that satisfies those criteria. So this would be an opportunity to investigate for an upside bet. That concludes the options screening tutorial. Happy trading.